When Diocletian came to power, he launched a new campaign to eradicate off the face of the earth any faith made up of Jews or Gentiles that refused to worship and pay homage to Rome's pagan gods. Finally, the rulers of Italy cried out to Constantine to save the empire from the tyranny and misrule. Judgment finally came in 312 A.D. by Constantine's armies. The pagans thought it was the end of the world. With that said, let us continue reading in Revelation 6:12. I looked when he opened the sixth seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood, and the stars of heaven fell to earth, as a fig tree drops its late figs when it is shaken mightily by the wind. Then the sky receded as a scroll when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. And the kings of the earth, the great men, the rich men, the commanders, the mighty men, every slave and every free man, hid themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come, and who is able to stand? Father knew that the enemy would get their hands on this book and take the code words literally, and therefore completely miss the prophetic meaning and timeline, and consequently be led further astray. This is exactly how the harlot beast system has interpreted Revelation. Point being, any astute Torah-observant teacher of that day would have known the proper interpretation of these code words. So when the messenger used these symbolisms or metaphors in this verse, what he was describing was the judgment and downfall of the entire government and rulers of the pagan Roman Empire. The sun, moon, and stars and sky referred to governing rulers, both small and great in authority, all of them that ruled the earth. And the mountains and islands represent various sizes of kingdoms or governments, from large to small. Hosea 10:8 used the exact same code words when predicting the judgment of the northern kingdom of Israel, when he prophesied and said, And they shall say to the mountains, Cover us, and to the hills, Fall on us. Ezekiel used the same symbolism also when foretelling the downfall of Pharaoh and the government of Egypt. In 32, verse 7 and 8, states, And when I shall put thee out, I will cover the heaven, and make the stars therefore dark. I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon shall not give her light. All the bright lights of heaven will I make dark over thee, and set darkness upon your lands, saith Yahuwah, your Elohim. The earthquake which shook the mountains and islands out of place was not literal, but code words for the devastating collapse and destruction of Rome's large and small governing political, social, religious, and military powers and authorities, who also worshipped the sun, moon, and stars. They were completely overthrown. During the persecution, both Diocletian and Maximian struck medals depicting the pagan gods Jupiter and Hercules destroying the Nazarenes. Is it any wonder why code words had to be used? After all, the Nazarenes were in enough trouble with Rome as it was. But had the prophecy spoken specifically about the fall of the Roman Empire, the consequences would have been even more disastrous. The overthrow, therefore, symbolized the casting down of planetary forces, which were the objects of pagan worship and idolatry in Rome. When you hear the phrase in verse 6:17, the great day of his wrath has come, we have been told this describes the day of the Lord at the end of this age. Such is not the case, for throughout biblical history there have been many days of the Lord, which fulfilled prophesied judgments by the Almighty. Some examples was the judgment of the 10 northern tribes from approximately 721 to 675 B.C. And then the house of Judah experienced his wrath and was taken into captivity to Babylon in approximately 604 to 587 B.C. And also the second temple would also fall under judgment in 175 BC and again in 70 AD. Each of these events could easily have classified as the day of his great wrath. The sixth seal actually describes a glorious time when Father not only answered the prayers of the saints, but vindicated their blood and stopped the persecutions for a season. In 313 AD, Constantine issued the Edict of Milan, which brought religious freedom to all the Roman Empire, including the Nazarenes. No doubt, Father used Constantine to bring judgment on Rome's pagan rulers, and there was no place for them to hide. Constantine became a great emperor, and Rome had the opportunity to repent. But as we shall see, they did not. The original four who constituted the Tetrarchy were Diocletian, Galerius, Maximian, and Constantus, father of Constantine, who died in battle in 306, just 6 years before his son Constantine would succeed him to the throne and would overthrow the pagan Roman Empire. Maximian hanged himself like Judas. Galerius, tormented by remorse, died slowly of a horrible disease. Diocletian went insane and died in 313 AD, the very year that Constantine declared the Edict of Milan. Thus did the wrath of the Lamb come to pass upon the pagan Roman Empire, the persecutor of his people. And just as surely shall his righteous judgments fall on today's persecuting political and religious systems of government that try to curse his chosen covenant people. I'm Bill Sanford, trying to put the book of Revelation in proper perspective in our day.